Happy April Fools.
I bet you're surprised to see us. This is not a joke. Just because it's April Fools, you would think that, seriously, what are Jen and Claire doing? But we are here to tell you that we have taken a leap.
Quite literally. Yes, absolutely correct. This is not a joke. This is something that we imagined in 2025. And it's taken us a moment to be brave to actually step into this and do it. But I think that's what goals are like.
Yeah. And so this is our podcast. Yes, we are starting a podcast. This is not a joke. This is real. We hope that our friends, families, new friends will join us here to Unravel and Uplift. That's the name of the podcast, and that's what we're going to do.
And what that really means is that each week we're going to take something and we're going to pull it apart. We're going to dissect it and we're going to give our Claire and Jen-isms on it. And then we're going to make that really manageable. We're going to break it down and then we're going to offer some uplift. And with the uplift, we mean adding a positive to it, adding a way that makes it more manageable. It's microdosed. And hopefully you'll go away feeling very rejuvenated, hopeful, and that you can do this.
Yeah. And we also will provide some tools and resources. We will use a disclaimer that we are not experts. So word of caution that we're not doctors. This is either coming from personal experiences or we'll tap into books, other podcasts, doctors, technical people. We will have guests on the show from time to time to really talk about, how we got there. What are the facts? What data is supporting us?
So what's behind us doing this? I think we both felt that we had friends. We've got great friends, but sometimes when you're with them, you don't want to talk about the stuff that's deep. You don't want to talk about the stuff that isn't always positive. We want to really enjoy that time together and keep it light. I personally feel like there's a forum that's missing there, where we can have a community of like-minded people who are honest. There's trust. We can really get raw with things and figure it out together.
Yeah. Speaking from our friendship group, there's times that we go out. We don't want to get that deep. We don't want to be the Debbie Downer. And then you maybe leave that evening, it's fabulous, but there's other things that you want to talk about as a group. But like Claire said, it doesn't get that deep. So we hope to start a community here where we can share and unravel the messy bits and talk about the things that maybe get uncomfortable to talk about, some life hacks, some tips and tricks just to motivate and maneuver around life a little bit easier.
I spend hours on ChatGPT, Google, asking are things normal?
Right, for
Give
sure.
me some advice. I'm hoping this can be the landscape where we can actually share some of that with people that might be feeling the same way.
For sure. So with that said, today's first episode is really about putting yourself out there. Mm-hmm. It takes bravery. It takes a lot of courage to go out there and try something new, right? Whether it's doing this, like having a podcast, whether it's running a marathon, it could be starting a new job, updating your resume.
It could be as simple as I need to get my laundry done today.
Well, yeah, sometimes it is that. Sometimes it is that. Let's be honest, like baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so today in this episode, the first episode of Unravel and Uplift, we want to explore how we hold ourselves back. I know I set goals for January. I'm sure many people do. It feels like the right thing to do.
Yeah. New year, new you, turn the page to new year. How can we refocus, start things that we maybe left off in the previous year? It's tough, right? Challenge ourselves. We all want to be better, I think.
And then I think it gets to this point in the year. So we're the 4th month in, it's April. I wonder how many of us have actually achieved those goals. And that might be for various reasons. It may be that the goal was a little bit too lofty. Mm-hmm. We didn't really think about what steps it takes to get there.
Yeah. Was it actionable? Like, I think sometimes we write down a goal and initiative and we don't really take the steps to figure out how we're going to get there. And I think that's half the battle is writing that goal down. And what keeps us from doing that?
Where's the accountability?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great to set those goals. But I think, one thing I've learned is that there's more to it than just setting that goal. There's lots of things that come into play.
Yeah.
I think there was one thing that you mentioned from a previous Mel Robbins seminar that you went to.
So a girlfriend and I had the opportunity here in Chicago to go see Mel Robbins speak last year. And I'm sure that many of you, as she's done the Coast to Coast tour, have checked that out. And what was interesting is when you arrived, they gave you like a tote bag, some swag, a pen, a notebook. And her first prompt to the group, which a huge, massive audience of people, was to write down what you need to start doing. And so people took out their pen and their notebook, they wrote it down, and I would assume most people came with a friend or maybe multiple friends. I'm sure some people came alone, which is fine, but they wrote down their goal and they shut the book. And that was such an eye opener for me. Like, to go see Mel Robbins speak, we were all there for the same reason, to feel motivated, to maybe take charge of something. And to see us all write something down and close the book was really eye-opening to me, and like a great spring for this conversation on why as women do we hold ourselves back? Like, why do we do that? Why do we keep that secret to ourselves and not push forward?
Why do we hide it?
Right.
Why was everyone's automatic reaction to write it down? Because it's obviously a goal there. And then to hide it away from the world, to shut themselves away from that.
And maybe not even share it with your friend that you came with. And I know the friend that I came with, we did not share what we wrote in the book. And we're close friends. We're good friends. So what does that mean? What is that driven by? Is it driven by fear? Is it driven by imposter syndrome? The failure? What will other people think? Like, where is that coming from?
And I think there is a lot of that, isn't there, about what other people are going to think. Are they going to judge me? I know we went through this.
Oh, yeah.
When we decided, hey, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. My headspace was, oh my gosh, what are people going to think of us?
Right.
They're going to judge us. They're going to watch this video. They're going to listen to us. They're going to be like, what is going on?
Midlife crisis. Who do they think they are? They're not experts.
Which we're not.
Yeah.
I want to bring that really
We'll say that a lot throughout these episodes. We are not experts. Right.
But I think there is something about that, about hiding your light behind something because of the fear surrounding actually showing it to someone, actually saying it out loud. Maybe even deep down, you wanting it as a goal, but not really wanting it.
Right.
That if it's kept hidden behind.
Yeah. A little self-sabotage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And we talked about this earlier, how we will put everybody's needs in front of our own sometimes too. Yeah. Right. Where, you may have a goal and you know what, your kids come first, or your significant other comes first, or your aging parents come first, or your career comes first, or all the other excuses that you could make for why your goals get pushed to the back.
And I think if we just look at this alone, it's been a mental battle. It really has. But I think if we had not shared that goal with each other, well, actually it was you, in fairness, that kind of shared your goal for what you wanted to do. And it just so happened that it aligned with where I wanted to be as well. And so I think together we've had an accountability partner
100%
in this.
Yeah.
I know hearing you say that goal just resonated with me and made me feel like, oh, someone else actually wants to be here,
right?
In the same space. So I think that definitely helps.
Yeah. Yeah. That accountability partner, because you were away on holiday for a bit. And while she was gone, we were all, doing our homework separately in preparation for this podcast. And I got freaked out. I got scared, and you helped me back. You're like, hey, why do we care what people think? And we can fit this into our schedules. Like, there was all the feelings, all the rush of emotions, and that's normal. I think it's normal for you to ride that roller coaster of fear where you're on the highs, everything's great, and the lows, like, what are we doing? You get overwhelmed with the process. I mean, if you guys could see this makeshift studio and all the cords we have and the technical blunders that we've had to go through to try to get to where we are today, like, it can be very daunting. It can be overwhelming, but you don't have to eat the whole elephant, right? Like, you see a goal and it seems so big, but just taking that one step to work towards it is that step in the right direction.
I think wobbles are normal, roadblocks are normal. And I think how we have to view a goal is to like Jen said, not eat the whole elephant. that goal is there, but to get there, it's almost like microdosing it into bite-sized chunks of I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in order to get to that bigger goal. It makes it more digestible. It also makes it more likely that we're going to commit to it and actually achieve it. And I think this whole process of a podcast has shown that to us. We, at first, just thought we're just going to launch straight into this. And as we've realized, we've needed to microdose this.
Right.
We've had to break it down bit by bit, learning how to use podcast recording suites, learning how to think about our content. It wasn't as simple as just achieving that goal. There were little steps towards it. But I think by tackling those little steps, making sure we use our resources and hold each other accountable, it's possible.
Let's dig a little bit deeper on what's stopping us, right? We talked about fear. Why do we stall our dreams? Why do we push them aside? Why do we shrink them? Why do we not get started? Like, we're challenging you to write down your goal today, but what's stopping you from getting started?
And I think it's real deal. Like, you have all those mixed emotions in you of, how are people going to look at me?
Yeah, judgment's a big one.
Yeah. Truly,
Midlife crisis, big one.
Yeah. Can I actually do this? A little bit of imposter syndrome coming in. I also think we're just, as women, used to putting what we want to the side for others.
Yeah.
And yes, there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah.
For
Is
sure.
it selfish? I think that's a thing too. If we take on marathon running or going back to school or any of the goals that you have that are going to be a time suck from your normal life, is that a selfish move? I think a lot of women struggle with the fact that they think it's too selfish. And the overthinking is huge, because the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and what if this happens, or the what if it works happens.
Yeah.
Like, what if it actually works? Then what the hell do you do?
Well, there is that whole hiding, like going back to your Mel Robbins and how absolutely everyone wrote their goal down and shut that book.
Right.
Everyone was hiding it. Everyone was conforming to what we have learned to do with goals. Like, don't say it out loud. Don't share it. And maybe part of it is because you're like, I've got a goal, but I'm not going to achieve it anyway. So it's just easier to keep it hidden away.
Yeah. And why are we embarrassed? Like, why are you embarrassed? If you're really around a safe circle, then your friends and family should support you. And don't be scared. I think the biggest scare is the scare of yourself. A lot of people, I think, if they're your true circle, will support you in so many of your initiatives and goals, but we're scared of ourselves and we're scared of the reaction. And I don't know about you, but when I got to my 40s, there was just this release of like, I stopped caring.
Yeah.
I stopped caring what people think, even though I still got wobbly, like on this. Yes, you care what people think, but you don't care as much. And you're just like, screw it. Like, who cares? Like, who gives a shit? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's freeing to stop caring so much. So maybe give that a go.
I also see that even at work, like, I feel like we have our objectives, like you set your goals, but it's almost like you go through the process of setting your goals. Do you truly, really want them? And I think that's the thing that I would love everyone to really explore. What's your passion? What goal makes you feel alive?
Yeah. What excites you?
Yeah.
And scares you a little bit, right? Because part of change, or big significant change, is a little bit scary. And I always say, like, if you don't feel a little bit scared, then are you really doing this right?
Yeah.
Like, you should feel a little bit scared, because change is scary. We like to be in our comfort zones. We're trained to be in a safe spot. So to get out of that zone can be a little, you could freak out.
It's almost like that gut check.
Right.
That gut check. But what we're urging is, Jen shared her experience of all those women sat there listening to this inspirational speaker who urged people to write down a goal, to make it real. And they did. They did what they were asked, and then they shut that book.
So don't shut the book. Please don't shut the book. Don't do it to yourself. Set an example and be that leader, and be that person that you want to be, and the person that you want others to see you as.
I'd also say, try to quiet the sounds in your mind. Those doubts come in. They're real deal. It's
you're human.
Yeah. And I think as women as well, we often have a lot of self-doubt, but just know you can do it. You really can. And this environment here, we know you can do it. We got you. We're here to support you through it. And our call to action today is, write that goal down. We've actually got a a goal resource that's available as well for you to download. So visit our site, you can download that. The intention of that is that it'll make it easier for you to visualize that goal, write down the steps that you need to take, name an accountability partner, and really think about your resources. Give it some life, but then we really, really urge you to share it with someone.
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
Yep. And then in next week's episode, we will dig deeper into goals. We'll actually bring some resources and receipts. It won't just be me and Claire. We'll have some data that supports the direction that we're going to share with you to make that even more meaningful and executable as you look to go down that path.
We're inviting you to jump on our journey, which is brand new and scary. And we don't know what the journey looks like. But join us. Join us on this journey. Bring your goal into the mix, and let us enjoy that success together.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us in Unravel and Uplift. And next time,
and we'll urge you to subscribe to this podcast wherever you subscribe to your podcast.
Yep. Please share it with your friends. If you're like, hey, look at these crazy ladies who have started this podcast, like check them out, rough and raw. Send us their way.
Still feeling crazy, by the way, as well. Even as we record this, I'm not going to lie, there are all kinds of butterflies and mixed emotions in me right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think I'm learning that's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay with being uncomfortable. And our tagline is Unravel and Uplift together. And I truly do believe that's how we need to do it.
Yeah. So thank you. We'll see you next time.